Welcome, it's Jamie here with Train to be Clutch. Now, I have a lot of people writing to me saying, listen, I've had great games in the past where I felt like I was on top of the world. If I could play like that day in, day out, I know that I'd be the best player on my team, I'd be the best player in the conference, the league, maybe even the country. And I don't know what that's like as an athlete, and you're trying to figure out, how do I replicate my best performance? Okay, I was working with a basketball player overseas not too long ago, and he had this very question. And one thing that we did that really brought him a lot of success and helped him not only replicate his best performance, but have even better performances, was thinking about visualization, thinking about what he did when he was at his best, and then visualizing himself doing that in the future or the day of that game, and continuing to use that process to get better. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So listen, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, and let's go. First of all, what you got to understand is that when you shoot a ball, okay, you activate the very same part of your brain as when you vividly visualize something, okay? Not just seeing it in your mind's eye, but like, you know, when you have a dream that's so real that you can almost feel everything that's happening to you, okay, that's vivid visualization. And what happens is when you vividly visualize, you activate the same part of your brain as when you actually do something physically. Now, Daniel Coyle tells us in the talent code that when you actually go out and shoot a ball, what you're doing is you're actually sending communication from your brain to the rest of your body to do it. And the more you shoot the ball, you wrap this chemical called myelin. Now, myelin acts as like insulation, okay? And it strengthens that communication pathway. And the more you do it, the more you wrap this myelin to where it just happens very quickly, okay? Have you ever done something where it felt like it was kind of second nature, you didn't even think about it? That's because you've done it so much that those communication pathways are strengthened and reinforced by this myelin. And actually the science shows that when you vividly visualize something, the very same thing is happening. You're wrapping myelin. Now, do you know what that means? That means that when you vividly visualize, you can actually take on as much growth as when you actually do something physically. That means you can get better while you're lying in bed, while you're waiting in line at the cafeteria, while you're riding on the bus, while you're in the back of your parents' car going to a game. You can get better through visualization. And I know a lot of people have tried it before. And the thing that most people don't understand about visualization is it is a skill. Okay, a lot of us have tried it and not had a lot of joy or haven't seen a lot of benefit from it straight away. But it's just like learning how to do a layup, okay, doing something fundamental in your sport. You weren't great at it the first time, but the more you did it, now it's just kind of second nature. It's very easy for you, and visualization is the very same thing. So listen, if you've tried it before and you didn't like it, didn't find any joy from it, please adopt this to your mental training workout and stick with it, because it's going to take you to newer heights, okay? Let's start here. We're going to look at a past peak performance. So I want you to think about a game or a practice or a camp or something where you felt like you were on top of it, all right? You absolutely killed it, okay? And take me back there, okay? Go back there in your mind. What court, what field, who were you around, who were you playing against? Can you smell what was going on? Get back into the setting. And I want you to identify a couple key areas, okay? I want you to think about yourself. What was your posture like during that game? Okay, were you upright? Were you down low athletically? Were you kind of hunched over? Okay, what was your self-talk like? Okay, can you remember what you were saying to yourself? What was your communication like with other people? Were you real chatty, or did you just kind of keep to yourself? What was your stride like when you were walking? Did you kind of have a bounce in your step? Were you skipping? Were you hopping? Or were you just kind of casual? Were you kind of lethargic? All right, what were you looking at as well? Like, where was your attention? Were you looking around the field all the time, or were you constantly looking at the floor or looking at your shoes? All right. And lastly, what do you think your facial expression was like? Were you smiling? Were you determined? Were you just kind of relaxed? What was it like? Because if you can identify a couple of these key things, it's going to help us for the visualization process that's going on. Okay. Now, I want you to do this as well. I want you to think about the professional player that you want to emulate the most, okay? Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Lionel Messi, whoever it is, okay? I want you to think about them, and I want you to take a second and go through those same questions, all right? What is their posture like when they're on? What's their facial expression like? Are they talking to other people? You probably don't know their self-talk, but you can guess at it. What were they doing? What were they looking at? Where's their gaze? What are they looking at when they're on the court or on the field? Okay? And I want you to write some of those things down. Okay? Now, this might sound a little ridiculous, but let me tell you something cool. Psychologist Amy Cuddy found out, and she proved that you can actually take on physical traits that you want to have, and you can almost like make yourself do them to bring on confidence. Okay? So she told us that people going into an interview process, okay, if she had them stand for at least 30 seconds in like a power pose where they felt like they were really confident, they were so much more likely to get the job, because by doing something physical, they actually brought on this mental and psychological component that made them feel confident. Okay, and that's what I want to do with you. I want you to think about what you feel like when you're playing at your best, and in a sense, I want you to go out and do that so that those feelings of confidence and assurance really come in and they become your default mode. Okay, you can actually do something physical that's going to affect how you feel and how you perceive how you feel. Okay, now here's the exercise with the visualization. I want you to find yourself a place that's comfortable. Okay, we're going to do something for 5 minutes. You'll do it on your own. I'm going to explain it. You'll do it on your own, but I want you to get in a comfortable spot for 5 minutes. Okay, some people sit down, some people lay down. I have to be upright and kind of like going through the motions. That's just me. That's how I found out it works best for me. Okay, whatever it is, you got to be distraction free. And I want you for 2 minutes, I want you to imagine yourself, okay, or sorry, imagine the best player in the world. You're LeBron James, you're Kevin Durant, whoever you chose, all right? I want you to imagine them doing a particular skill, okay? So pick a context. Maybe it's coming off a screen and shooting at the elbow. Maybe it's beating somebody one-on-one and shooting from the 18-yard box. I want you to pick something very specific. And for 2 minutes, I want you to watch them and study them, how they would do that, okay? I want you to figure out and look at all the physical things that they're doing, all right? Their posture, their facial expression, all those things, all right? And I want you to come up with 2 or 3 words that you think really describe them well, okay? That's for 2 minutes. The next 2 minutes, I want you to see yourself in that particular context, okay? Rep after rep. I want you to see yourself beating that player. What do you feel like? Are you down low? What's your facial expression like? Are you talking to people? Okay? And again, I want you to come up with a couple words that you think describes that really well. And these are going to be your cue words, okay? So 2 minutes about your professional player, 2 minutes about yourself, and then for the last minute, I want you to visualize yourself just freely playing in a game. Any context you want, but carrying on those physical components or traits that bring about confidence, and repeating to yourself those words that you came up with, okay? Now, what you'll probably find after that 5 minutes, you may not feel like you're any different, okay? But if you replicate this and you do this every day for 5 minutes at least, I mean, you can do it more, but if you do it for at least 5 minutes, what you're going to start to realize is that when you get into your game or into your practice, you're actually going to already do those things, because again, you're activating the same part of your brain as when you actually go out and practice. Okay, let me tell you what happened for me. I have a player, Gennaro Gattuso. He played in Italy, and he's the guy who I emulate as a defender, okay? And the word I came up with for him that describes him is nasty. And anytime I say the word nasty to myself, it's like I can feel my body get in an athletic position. I can feel my face just kind of like, I'm going to get you, all right? I'm going to bite you. I'm going to slap you. I'm going to do whatever I have to, okay? And I feel very sharp and agile. And it's all because I visualized it and I brought in those words. So now when I'm on the pitch, all I say to myself is nasty, and it's like, bang, I'm going to get that ball off you, okay? The very same thing will start to happen, but you got to stick with the process, okay? I want you to try and do it once a day. You can do it more. You can do it for other contexts, other parts of your game. That's the brilliant piece, is it's your time, okay? You can do as much of it as you want, but listen, stick with the process. Remember what we said. Success comes from doing small things that don't seem like they make any difference at all while you're doing them, but you do them over and over and over again over a long period of time, and that's going to bring about the growth that you want, okay? We're not trying to replicate the best game that you've ever had. We're trying to take you to the best game that you've ever experienced in the next game that's coming up, all right? Again, for more free resources and tools on mental training, come visit us at traintobeclutch.com, and please be strong, be consistent, be deliberate, and please don't be a stranger. It's Jamie here, your Opp-Season. Get back to work.